about the tower, and about Monsieur Dubois. Why, Monsieur Dubois wasn't never there, nor nigh it, and so it was all your own invention." "May there not be two persons of the same name? The mistake was but natural." "Don't tell me of no mistake, for it was all on purpose. Besides, did you not come, all in a mask, to the chariot door, and help to get me put in that ditch? I'll promise you, I've had the greatest mind in the world to take the law of you ever since, and if you ever do as much again, so I will, I assure you." Here Miss Branghton tittered, Mr. Smith smiled contemptuously, and young Branghton thrust his handkerchief into his mouth to stop his laughter. The situation of Sir Clement, who saw all that passed, became now very awkward even to himself, and he stammered very much in saying, "Surely, Madam, surely you cannot do me the injustice to think that I had any share in the misfortune which—" "Ma foi, Sir," cried Madame Duval, with increasing passion, "you'd best not stand talking to me at that rate. I know it was you, and if you stay there, a provoking me in such a manner, I'll send for a constable this minute." Young Branghton, at these words, in spite of all his efforts, burst into a loud laugh; nor could either his sister or Mr. Smith, though with more moderation, forbear joining in his mirth. Sir Clement darted his eyes towards them with looks of the most angry contempt, and then told Madame Duval that he would not now detain her to make his vindication, but would wait on her some time when she was alone. "Oh, pardi, Sir," cried she, "I don't desire none of your company; and if you wasn't the most boldest person in the world, you would not dare look me in the face." The ha-ha-ha's and he-he-he's grew more and more uncontrollable, as if the restraint from which they had burst had added to their violence. Sir Clement could no longer endure being the object who excited them, and having no answer ready for Madame Duval, he hastily stalked towards Mr. Smith and young Branghton, and sternly demanded what they laughed at. Struck by the air of importance which he assumed, and alarmed at the angry tone of his voice, their merriment ceased as instantaneously as if it had been directed by clockwork, and they stared foolishly, now at him, now at each other, without making any answer but a simple "Nothing, Sir." "Oh, pour le coup," cried Madame Duval, "this is too much. Pray, Sir, what business have you to come here ordering people that come to see me? I suppose next nobody must laugh but yourself." "With me, Madam," said Sir Clement, bowing, "a lady may do anything, and consequently there is no liberty in which I shall not be happy to indulge you; but it has never been my custom to give the same license to gentlemen." Then, advancing to me, who had sat very quietly on a window during this scene, he said, "Miss Anville, I may at least acquaint our friends at Howard Grove that I had the honour of leaving you in good health." And then, lowering his voice, he added, "For Heaven's sake, my dearest creature, who are these people, and how came you so strangely situated?" "I beg my respects to all the family, Sir," answered I aloud, "and I hope you will find them well." He looked at me reproachfully, but kissed my hand, and then bowing to Madame Duval and Miss Branghton, passed hastily by the men, and made his exit. I fancy he will not be very eager to repeat his visit, for I should imagine that he has rarely, if ever, been before in a situation so awkward and disagreeable. Madame Duval has been all spirits and exultation ever since he went, and only wishes Captain Mirvan would call, that she might do the same by him. Mr. Smith, upon hearing that he was a baronet, and seeing him drive off in a very beautiful chariot, declared that he would not have laughed upon any account had he known his rank, and regretted extremely having missed such an opportunity of making so genteel an acquaintance. Young Branghton vowed, that if he had known as much, he would have asked for his custom, and his sister has sung his praises ever since, protesting she thought, all along, he was a man of quality by his look. End of Letter 47.